because of that. To my searching, Bill never faced an occasion where he had an athlete relying on drug-assisted, on steroids, for example. And so he was fortunate in that, in the timing. He retired in '73, and after that he was coaching mainly runners, and runners just until, well into, the 80s. We were just not worried about the steroidal aspects. That we didn't know what East Germany was doing. We knew something was wrong there, but we just did the best we could. And I think Bill kind of felt that. On the question of money and the question of how much is enough and making a good, honest living as a professional, it's almost the same question, because there was no such thing as professional track for runners until 1981. And so, again, he was retired. He wasn't rendering any judgment. But what he would do is, if he were counseling somebody, and he did for a lot of people for Athletics West, and Henry Marsh was one who basically was carried on through tough times by Bill Bowerman in easy days, and they got a wonderful relationship. But when he was doing that, he came into contact with all of the distractions that come with professional anything. There were agents and the demands of contract things and PR, and the demands, the energy drains of traveling around and giving personal appearances or commercials, or everything that suddenly sprang into being if you were a champion and you could now accept money in the 80s. And so, but that would be, he just treated that like any other distraction, any other drain on that particular individual's system, and tried to allow for it and go from there. But I know that he would certainly turn away from encouraging anybody to do all kinds of that, and not get your rest, not get your plan for. The other thing would be racing too much, killing yourself off in road races for short-term financial winnings, and thereby jeopardizing your chance in the Olympics or long distance or marathoning. That, I know that was an issue with a lot of runners, and it always has been. And he would render advice in that particular case.
We're going to take 2 more questions, and then he'll be signing books in the back.
How much of the book did you write before Bill died, and how much after?
Let me think. I wrote almost all of what is here after he died. We moved back from Hawaii in '02 and finished it up in '06. 4 years of working on it, and I'd written about 3 chapters by when we moved, and I'm a little hazy on when I actually started that. But it was drawing together memories and notes and things that I just knew I wanted to say about him and about how he fit in Oregon and the Oregon tradition and the Oregon sense of how we address problems with humor and stubbornness. And those things go way back, so that's why it's kind of iffy. And I have really some of the things from '71 where I wrote notes to myself when I finally get to the book, I got to say this, and some of those are there.
Bill was apparently a practical joker, and undoubtedly there are a number of stories that you chose to omit from the book. Can you give us an illustration of some of those?
Oh boy. There's always that last question. I almost feel like reading the chicken papers. No, I won't do that. I'm seeing Jay Bowerman out there. And so you've all heard the really incredible ones from him. Some great practical joke that I wanted to have in here, and I didn't. You know, I don't, the last thing, we had to cut. I wrote like 100 pages farther than I could even elbow them to accept. So I had to cut, and the last thing that I cut was when he took us to the national cross country when I was a sophomore. And Archie San Romani was on that team, and Keith Foreman, and Stinky, and we ultimately we got second. The first time that he had entered a team, because he always thought cross country shouldn't be that intense, that you should be training more than racing and killing yourself. But we went this time, in part because the Beavers had gone the year before and won the thing. And so it was in Michigan, at Michigan State, in East Lansing. And the Friday before John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And for some reason, the NCAA said, sure, go ahead, fly on the weekend and run the race. It was always Monday. It may still be. The NCAA cross country is always a Monday. So we went, but we were just spooked and a lot of pressure. And so when we got there, and Bill, we were getting ready. It was a morning race, so for all the time we were there, he got us up really early in the morning to get adjusted to their time zone and get adjusted to, and we would always have the breakfast that we would have right before the race, 3 hours before, which was toast and tea and honey. And so we went to a thing, a little diner kind of thing, like Sambo's in those days, and to get our toast and tea and honey, and it's the day before the race, and Bill was nervous, and we all were sitting there completely asleep, trying to keep our eyes open. And we served our toast and tea, but the honey is just little packets of honey. And so we ran out, and Bill asked for more honey, and the waitress said, I gotta ask the chef behind the counter. And so then Keith Foreman and I looked up, and here's Bill Bowerman's feet standing next to us on the counter, and he's pushing aside all of the dishes that are up on top of this counter to look down at where the chef is. We can't even see him, so he can inform that chef the University of Oregon can afford all the honey in the goddamn restaurant. And I remember Keith looking over at me and saying, this must be a big race. We never seen him that tight. So they left that out, but I'll get it up on the website.
Let's give a big round of applause for Kenny Moore.
No. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.